Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So, periodically I like to ask you guys for your feedback and your suggestions of what you would like to see here on KWSHOPS. Today I have a submission topic from Catherine in Toronto. Shout out, because our names are spelled the same and I'm Catherine in Miami. Catherine in Toronto basically wanted me to talk about, there is kind of this narrative going around that the resale market is dying and my thoughts on it. So her question was, do you think prices will fall over the next year or so? I want to get into my thoughts because I too have seen a lot of that discourse floating around out on the internet for the past couple of months, and I want to calm everyone down. So if you're new here, my name's Catherine. I worked in the luxury resale industry, like pretty much every aspect available of the business other than like literal accounting. You have questions about the resale industry? I got you. I was in the industry for 10 years and I've been here on YouTube for the majority of them, giving my insights into what goes on in the business behind the scenes so you guys can make more informed decisions. So if you're new here, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We're now doing the whole YouTube thing full time and I'm really excited about that. So without further ado, we're gonna get started. What I'm gonna say first is that a lot of people came into this industry within the last 5 years. Definitely the industry has hugely increased post-pandemic. So a lot of people don't remember the before times. I got into the business in 2014. In 2014, the Real was kind of just getting started, was just becoming like known to some people out there. I think that's probably the year I made my first purchase there. That was the year I believe that like Poshmark was founded or like brought to the masses. Obviously places like eBay have existed since 1999 and the thought and concept of buying used goods was not as prevalent as we know it to be today. The last decade has seen a completely like meteoric shift in the market, in the prevalence of it, in the prevalence and popularity of it, and just people's just general knowledge about it. For most of our lives, I would say, and for most of you know, the lifetime of the fashion industry and the luxury high-end fashion industry, luxury was not seen as attainable. And I think that one thing that the resale market did do was make luxury attainable to the masses. So what once was a bag that maybe only sold in boutiques for, let's call it $1,000, you can find them now in the pre-loved market several years later with a little bit of wear, some scratches, maybe a couple of water stains, for anywhere from the like $300 to $600 range. There are things like Affirm. There are things like Affirm that like you can delay the payment for, so that also opens up the market of people who are able to consume in this. And most notably, the resale market also makes it so that you can retain more of your money when you do go on to sell your item. So in theory, you have your $1,000 from your initial purchase and you recoup some of it and put that money that you've recouped into your next purchase. Therefore, you're kind of like recycling the money. That's kind of how I like to think of it when I'm buying and selling stuff too. Now that we've hit 2023, and I will say that prices definitely are coming down from the huge, ridiculous, crazy prices we were seeing in 2020 and 2021. I think the main reason for that, just from what I've seen and experienced, is I think that the market kind of got like boss babified. I think that one of the huge contributing factors to what we're seeing today is that people spent the last like 3 to 5 years like girl bossing when they should have just been shopping. Let me explain. I really wish that we, especially as women, you know, gave ourselves a lot more grace to do things and consume things and spend money on ourselves because we want to. We don't need justification as long as we have made the responsible and, you know, weighted, thoughtful decision to buy something for ourselves. I think buying something because you like it or because you want it and can afford it and obviously have all of your responsibilities in check, etc., set that aside. That should be enough reason to justify a purchase of something that you, an adult human being, to have. Like, that should be enough. It doesn't have to become an investment in order to be worthwhile. And I mean, I contend, and I think that I've been saying this from the beginning of my channel, if you're already thinking about how much money you're gonna recoup on the back end, I really honestly, in my soul, believe that this experience probably isn't for you, and that's okay. Don't get me wrong, I think that it is awesome, and it is one of the reasons why I am more comfortable with making a lot of the luxury purchases that I've made over the years, because there is the option to recoup some of the money. And, you know, mitigating your losses is absolutely something you should be thinking about. But I think that people have taken it a bit too far. Recouping some of the money spent on designer goods through resale is not the same thing as pretending that there are not consequences for mistakes that we make in our lives. Very often, the consequence of making a dumb purchase is losing money. That is something a lot of people really do not enjoy hearing from me. I think that the resale aspect and the, you know, money making or investment worthiness of bags was kind of like doled out as like a sales tactic, and I think that too many people, like, for lack of a better word, like, bought into the sales tactic. This channel for how many years has been saying handbags are not reliable financial investments, and I'm going to keep saying that so long as you see my face out here on YouTube talking about designer handbags. I think that a lot of consumers need to do a better job of thinking critically and making good, sound, rational choices. One thing to remember, if someone is selling you on an investment, in this case we're talking about a handbag and how it has the potential to appreciate over the years. If the thing is so valuable and if it has such an upside down the line, why would they need you to buy in? Just think about that. These are not investments. These are not investments. They're handbags. Fashion is supposed to be like an art form. It's supposed to be a form of like expression. It is not supposed to be cryptocurrency for girls. I actually said this on Instagram the other day, like, I don't know how old the rest of you are, but coming up in the 90s, like, we as millennials have been trying to run investment schemes since we were in the sandbox. I can't with us. I don't know exactly how to say this. One indicator to me that things were getting out of hand, and I don't mean to offend anyone, but seeing straight men who were very clearly not fashion enthusiasts trying to get in on this, like, to me was like the moment in The Big Short where they're talking to the stripper and she has 6 houses. Does that make sense? Like, if you really want to participate, if you really want to play, like, this is not a money-making scheme. Or it is exceptionally risky to buy bags for investment, and it is one that I, as a professional, former professional, whatever, do not recommend. Like, dude, no, this is not for you. And then, of course, seeing articles about handbags. These are like, I'll leave some link down below. Vogue, investment bags, Bloomberg, Forbes. Like, once Bloomberg and Forbes are really like telling people to get in on investments, I mean, I think that most people know that it's kind of too late. No shade to like financial journalists, but the thing that they get wrong, or that people don't take away from it, is that they fixate on like the top end, and this is something that the media does generally. They'll fixate on like the splashy, like, cool headline, and the resale market now is a Himalayan Birkin selling for $150,000. When in reality, what most people are selling are like old, I don't know, Chloe bags. And those, if you look, are barely going for like 150 bucks sometimes. Does that make sense? And I think that the journalism sometimes does paint a picture of, you know, everyone is digging out their old bags, their old designer bags from like 2007 and making a fortune. And that's really not what's happening, unless you were someone who was lucky enough to purchase a Chanel classic flap in like 2005. Yeah, for sure. If you go to sell it now, you might recoup your money, you might make it back. But chances are you probably want to wear it. Same goes for your Hermes Birkins. Like, again, I'm not really talking about that end of the spectrum. I'm talking about the rest of us. Like, the people shopping Hermes and the people buying Himalayan Birkins, they don't need my advice on YouTube. This is advice, practical advice for us, for the regulars. I would be lying to you if I said that some of the resellers absolutely did like lose their minds. I am one of the few people who worked in the industry that doesn't really think that it's cool that like people would just go in and like buy up all the little Chanel trinkets and then go sell them on the resale market. I live in a complete glass house here because yes, I did do it. Admittedly, that was my job. I do think that the way that it gets done, especially nowadays, it's not called scalping. there's a word for it. Hopefully I find it and put it here. But that does take away from like the love and like the genuine love and passion of this, and it kind of just turns it all into one giant business transaction, and in the long term I don't think that's good for the industry. So yes, of course, you know, people need to try to make their money where they can, but I think that there is plenty of money out there for everyone if we all just kind of collect our senses, act like reasonable, rational people, and remember that these are just handbags. To a lot of the people that say the resale industry is dying, I would say generally that it is not dying. It's coming back to normal. It's coming back to the place that it was before all of the buzz and the hype, and that's kind of what should have been expected. Like, the number just doesn't go up forever, and I have been here on YouTube for all of these years trying to bring us back down to earth and remember the importance of basic critical thinking sometimes. Yeah, I think that a lot of the things that made the industry like fly into popularity over the past couple of years are some of the same things that sucked almost all of the fun out of it for me. It is really cool to watch a person like fall in love with something they've never seen before, and I pick that experience every single time over trying to find the bag that like Kylie Jenner wore in an Instagram photo. Like, snore. In my experience, I have had people constantly try and say to me that I would think differently about like the way that I price things, just based on realistic market value and not taking things like the retail price, the original retail price, into account. I've had people tell me in the past that I would say differently if it were my money, and I don't know about you guys, but I have to live in reality too. I am of zero expectation at all that someone else is going to come in and like solve my problem of making a regrettable purchase down the line. I'm an adult and I have to be accountable for my actions. So when I was scrolling through Nordstrom Rack and found the Stella McCartney bag for like 500 bucks randomly, like, I, as an adult, had to think of the pros, cons, positive and negative ramifications of what $500 could do for me outside of buying this bag. I made that decision having taken all of my other needs into account. That is to say, like, do not spend money on designer handbags that you can't afford to lose. That is how you get underwater, and that's how you really like burn yourself out of having this as a fun hobby. This is a hobby, not an investment. I will revise my statement slightly to say that the resale market is dead for some people. Maybe it's dead for the people that were looking to this as their next investment strategy, and honestly I want it to be dead for them because I feel like they were ruining it. No offense, but I'm not really gonna miss them when they leave because it just sucked all of the fun out of doing this. But for the rest of you, what I have always recommended is you don't need an investment strategy. You don't have to follow the runway shows. You certainly don't need to go and buy up all the limited edition collections to go and try to sell them on the resale market. I can't say this enough, but buy what you genuinely like. Buy the thing that makes you feel cool, edgy, hip, beautiful, whatever that is for you singularly. Buy that thing, and it doesn't have to be the one that's on the cover of the magazines that don't exist anymore. Yes, of course, there is a secondhand market for these goods. Remember that handbags are more like cars than they are like real estate. I can follow up on that in another video because I have a couple of points. You resell them and you get practically nothing back because you put all the miles on it, right? I'll get back to you with the details on that one. So basically, if you keep those three things front of mind when you're making a purchase on the resale market or in the boutique, the industry will never die for you. So thank you so much to Catherine in Toronto for suggesting this little topic of discussion. If you guys have any other suggestions of what you'd like to see here on my channel, then I'd love to hear them. Please comment them down below. You can also find me over on my Instagram. You can send me a message over there. I'm working on a lot of stuff behind the scenes and I cannot wait to share it. So with that, I'm gonna leave another video for you guys to check out here, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.